What is that, Kevin? That looked refreshing.
It's like a pre-mixed cocktail I bought at the store. It's a lemon drop martini.
Oh, those are big now. That's like
Yeah.
all my sister drinks. I had one in Florida. And
One of the Cutwater ones.
No, but an actual lemon drop martini.
Oh, that's what Cutwater. You know those Cutwater canned cocktails?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
They basically just like jump on whatever people are drinking. So like if people are drinking transfusions, they're good. They're the nice.
Sounds like a car part. What is that?
Vodka transfusion is like vodka with like grape juice.
It sounds like a
very popular among golfers.
surgery.
It's a them they drink right there.
Who gives a fuck about an Oxford comma? I seen those English dramas too. They're cruel. So if there's any other way.
Okay, well, before we get into music and our topic at hand, I wanted to get a little update from Dennis on his. Dennis is training for a half marathon, the Cleveland half marathon, and I wanted to get a little update on his progress.
I did go running today, yes.
We know you texted us. It was before the eclipse.
Yeah.
And
I'm on a run right now, but I'll be back.
You should be running more days than less. So I'd be curious to hear.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm running. My goal's 4 days a week, but sometimes it's only 3. I'm up to 7 miles, so
okay.
I just need to get to 9, and I'll be okay.
7 miles.
Get to 9,
7 miles a run.
Not every run, no. My long run, like my longest run.
Yeah,
I'm doing like 3 or 4 mile runs in between, but I just got new shoes on Saturday, and so I went running today, and my feet were numb. I'm just not used to the shoes, so I was gonna go like 5 miles today, but I only went 3.
Yeah, you're looking trimmer.
No.
I could see it in your face. There's a little bit of a difference.
I don't think so.
Beard might just be a little tighter.
I did
Come on, show us the mirror face.
I'm gonna be very slow. I know that. Just want to finish, and lose like 8 more pounds.
That's doable.
Yeah.
How much have you lost? Do you know?
None. 0.
It looks like it. You're gaining muscle at the same time that you're losing. So
maybe. I was in Florida and I was like down. I lost a bunch of weight in February. Not a bunch, like 5 pounds, but I went to Florida and I gained it all back. Even though I went running like 4 times.
Yeah, I think there's probably a lot less.
A lot of drinking.
Yeah, drinking and sitting by the pool and eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it.
What have you been listening to while you're running?
Today, Vampire Weekend.
Is that your first time listening to it? It makes it's crazy how hard it is for you to listen to music. There's like so much it wasn't so many
my first
opportunities.
time listening.
Okay. Well,
I've
yesterday it
all the way through like 5 times, but normally during album listening, I listen to a song and like look at the name of the song, do a little research, and I didn't get a chance to do any of that for this. So
okay, that's fair then.
But I've been listening to this guy. He's a therapist. His name is Dr. John Delaney, and people call in with their problems, and he talks to them.
Is it comedy or just pretty sincere?
No, it's 100% real. Yeah, yeah.
It's a podcast, or
is it on really fucked up like things they say?
Sirius FM.
It's on Sirius. He's part of the Dave Ramsey network.
Okay,
but he's his own guy. But he has a podcast.
Okay.
Have you ever listened to like Dr. Laura? Have you ever heard of that?
No, but I've listened to Dave Ramsey. I know who he is.
Dr. Laura is like for women's and mothers. This guy's more like men focused, I would say. So
you learned some things, changing your life around?
It's more just interesting.
One thing you've learned.
There's 3. Each person is made up of 3 individuals: a child, a adult, and a parent. And so sometimes your child comes out in certain situations, and sometimes your parent comes out in certain situations, and sometimes you have to be the parent to your own child.
Sometimes you have to be that.
Yeah. So
I can buy into that.
Yeah. It's hard for me to listen to music when I'm running because it's so much skipping. I just constantly am skipping the song.
To keep up with pace?
No, just I get bored of it. Like, I just associate it with pain. So,
okay.
So the therapy, these people's pain
Yeah, before I run, I always make sure like whatever I'm listening to, I'm not gonna have to do a lot of interaction with it. Like I'll just like pick a playlist. It might suck, but I'll just be like set it and forget it. Like, okay, maybe there's gonna be a bad song here, but
What do you listen to?
Dennis, we made a perfect mix for Kevin. Why don't you just listen to that when you run?
Because I heard it. It's done.
Okay.
But I went for a 9-mile run this weekend. Hold for applause. I listened to something like Spring Break Spotify playlist. It was just like new music for spring. I usually listen to EDM something or another.
Oh, actually, Kevin, speaking of EDM.
Spinning music 2024, like just some like playlist that a Peloton person or a Soul Cycle person will use.
I do find the best artist for running, and it's Daft Punk. I feel like they're the perfect type of music where it's like it's kind of the same thing, but it builds. It's good. It's good running music.
I can see that, especially just to start your run because they always like come in really slow.
One more time.
But while I ran 9 miles this weekend, I did listen to our topic of the day, Only God Was Above Us, the 5th studio album by American indie rock band. I was going to ask you guys how you feel about that label. Vampire Weekend, released April 5th. That's all I got on this.
Yay!
Do you guys think Vampire Weekend is indie rock? Do you think that's a fair classification?
1,000%.
I just hate the word indie rock. It's just, why can't it just be indie?
They're like what I think of when I think of men indie rock.
It just drives me. Indie rock drives me nuts. I don't know why. I know that that's what it's called.
Yeah, Kevin, you're questioning it?
When I picture indie rock, I picture like that guy you just sent a picture of the other day, Dennis, or the video of. What was his name?
Vampire Weekend.
Jeff Rosenstock? No, that's more punk.
Okay. I just picture grungier hair, messy, bad t-shirts.
Dude.
I feel like this Vampire Weekend is the epitome of indie.
And Kevin, I can prove it. Sirius XMU, the indie rock station, for the last 4 days been Vampire Weekend radio. Only Vampire Weekend songs.
No, yeah, I'm not here to counter it. I just, in my mind, it's not. They're just like when they came out, they had that look that I've read that like was very calculated. Like they wanted to dress like prep school boys, and that doesn't make me think indie rock. Just that initial look. I mean, now after hearing their music for 10, 12 years, like yes, like they go hand in hand. But just that look that they have had in the past doesn't make me think indie rock. Makes you think more just like pop. Really,
but that their look looks just like, so take the guy from Tom from 500 Days of Summer. He dressed just like how, maybe not exactly, but it's the same look.
Yeah, and I guess that guy was pretty indie, huh?
Yeah, I think back then that was the look. That was the indie look.
What is a K-pop group dressed like?
Korean pop?
Yeah, I feel like they almost like dress like a K-pop band.
Wait, I don't think so at all.
What is Vampire Weekend dressing like nowadays?
I don't know. I think just kind of, not bad, not great.
Most of the members, I think, left. Most of the original members.
Yeah, it's really just Ezra.
I thought there was the 3 guys and they're still together.
No, like the one dude got pretty famous. Is it Rostam?
Rostam left, yes.
And then Bayo, he got kind of famous. I think his name is.
His names are wild. Those are those guys' real names? Or those their band names now? Like stage names?
I don't know. I feel like they're
Rostam and Bayo. Then Ezra. I know Ezra's is
Ezra's a cool name.
It is a cool name.
Because of that exact reason that we were talking about, though, I actually ended up doing a little bit of research on these guys before we started. How familiar are you with the history of Vampire Weekend, Owen and Dennis?
Not great. I tried doing some research too, but it was more listening to Ezra speak and just podcasts that he's done, and then tried listening to one with Ezra and Rashida Jones like together and doing but there's nothing good on that either.
Did he talk like that? Like, I'm Ezra Koenig.
He doesn't talk like Maestro.
Good point.
He talks different than what his voice sounds like.
Yes.
It's surprised pretty deep versus singing voice, which is I would say probably like a tenor.
Dennis, how familiar are you with the history?
Not that familiar. at all.
They, just to summarize it quickly, like I always just pictured these guys as like waspy son of rich kids, and they all did go to Columbia University, like Ivy League New York school.
Mhm.
And Ezra did grow up in New York City, but they have stated like specifically that they are not like, you familiar with the term WASP?
Yeah.
White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. They're like, we are not WASP. Like we are all like the son of immigrants. Like we are like Iranian, Hungarian. So they've made like a point of saying that they are not that like just rich New York kid. So, and they all went to Columbia on scholarships, which I thought was interesting. And that's where they started the band together. But that's
Familiar with that. And then Ezra was doing it while he was a teacher.
yes, yeah, which was interesting
He was
too.
like
How
22 or
old is he?
23. He was an 8th grade teacher. That was before the first album. So that was, I have no clue when that came out.
2008, maybe?
Somewhere around
So
there.
24 or 14, is that 14 years ago?
Yeah, so he's probably like
No,
close to
16.
40. Maybe he's 40, 38. Let's see.
I would think he's at least 38.
I feel like he's got to be 40 at least.
I think
He's
he's
married to
44.
Rashida
That's my
Jones, who
guess.
must be
I
close
know.
to 50.
He's 40. Oh, okay.
How old is
That's
Rashida
not that
Jones?
much older than us.
Rashida, I think, is 50. No, she's not 50.
He's married
Maybe
to her?
she is. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have a kid.
Which
She's
I'll-
48.
I'll talk about later, but like there's so much in this in the lyrics of this latest album. It's like a lot of breakup songs, a lot of like at least I thought they were like breakup songs. A lot about like past relationships, and it's like who's he writing this from the perspective of? Is what keeps coming to my mind.
Well, there's one part that where he was talking in a podcast where he says that a lot of his music comes from like long demos ago. So it's like stuff that he built on. So it's not always stuff that has just happened or happened recently.
And also, the person he collaborates with on the writing, I looked it up, was some guy named Ariel, who does like, he works with the Hayam, I think, and Taylor Swift too. So it's not all just coming from his personal experience, which I always assumed it was. But first question, though, or next question, rather. So, Dennis, like, what is your personal history with Vampire Weekend? When were you introduced? When did you presumably fall in love with them?
Definitely in high school. I remember hearing that. I don't know where I heard them originally, but it was the Oxford comma song. And who gives a fuck about an Oxford comma? And I don't know why. That just really stuck with me. And I remember putting it on a couple Burn CDs.
Oh, that
My
was like, those
mixes.
are good times. Just like
Yeah.
committing to like 16 songs on your
Oh,
birds.
yeah. Yeah. And like driving to high school, listening to them.
And that was your
Um,
personality for the 3 months. Like that was like you expressing your current state of being through those 16 to 18 songs.
Yeah. And coming up with the name of the Burn CD to write on it. That
Oh,
was
wow,
always
you were the only
fun.
person that did that. I never
Oh,
did that.
I did that too, but mine, it was always like mix one volume. I don't know. There was nothing very special about it.
I still do my Spotify playlist like that. It's always the first, like whenever I say I'm going to write the name of the CD or make a playlist, it's the first thing that comes to my mind. So like I have playlists on here. Don't Be a Bitch. Jiggly Fat Running.
Oh my god,
Wow, really self-deprecating.
you're just mean.
Have I heard this before, or is this something else? Yes Again. Workout Dude.
This is interesting, Dennis. We'll have to dive into this on another pod one
Browns
day.
are good.
I have a
Fuck.
lot of playlists stuff too.
I
but
have
I
a
won't
lot
get
of
into all mine.
playlists with like 3 songs on it because then I
Oh.
get sick of them. But yeah, that was my first experience with them, and I would say they're one of the first indie bands I really started listening to.
What about you, Owen?
I feel like I'm in the same. I think Phil, my brother, introduced me to them. Like he had the song on a mix CD and gave it to me, and Oxford comma was on there. Same exact song.
Oxford
So-
comma was the big one. That wasn't. I didn't realize this until probably today, though. I think what introduced us to them was in the movie Step Brothers. I think the trailer. Dennis,
I already
gave me a
knew.
hard no. You already knew. At that
Me
point?
too. No,
Okay.
we already knew them. I feel like we all knew Vampire
I
Weekend
I
before
could be
that, and
wrong.
then
Yeah.
A-Punk was in it, and we're like, oh shit, this song is in
And
here.
I never liked A-Punk really.
I didn't
So if
either,
that
but
was
it
the
was
first song, then it was also the song that whenever I plugged in my
I was
iPod,
it's
it
just gonna
always
say,
came
is that
on.
the reason why you hate it? Is
I
because
think
anytime you
so.
plug it in, it automatically plays, and so you
Yeah.
skip over it right away, and you're like, I
Yeah.
can't fucking hear.
it's not a bad song, but that album I would argue is perfect. The Vampire Weekend self-titled album, like every song on that is a 9 out of 10 or higher in my list.
Mhm.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
and yeah, like for that one is probably the worst. It's the Drunken Hot Girls of that album.
How did you hear about him, Kevin?
I can't remember. I just remember like they just came out of nowhere and everybody listened to them. And then I remember specifically I drove to New York City when I was 18, and that was like a lot of what I listened to on that drive was just Vampire Weekend, and just to hear like all those songs on that first album. I can't even think of any of the name, but like Blake's got a new face, Blake's got a new face, and Walcott and Oxford Comma, and they were just all so cool. And it just like as an 18-year-old like going to college, and all the songs were just about like being at college, it was just like the perfect
Yeah.
storm of music for me.
It was so unique, I feel like, compared to everything else, where it felt almost classical. It was like classical music mixed with rock, which I feel like was very refreshing at the time.
And what I've learned a lot of in more recent years is a lot of that first album was inspired by like African beats. Like that was some of my research today was like Ezra Koenig was really inspired by like Afro
What's an
pop,
African beat?
like basically any 80s song like Peter Gabriel and
Oh,
Paul Simon, like like, or like I don't know how to describe it, but
That
like
was,
think
that was really good.
think about like Obvious Child, Dennis. Like, you know the song Obvious Child?
I
I
think
get it
Dennis
now.
was trying to get a soundbite out of you.
Yeah. It's just like really heavy on the drums, like really.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm
it
not.
is interesting because during this Vampire Weekend radio, they talked about some of the songs, that how like they came up with them, and the one song they talk about is the song "Classical" that's on the new album,
Mhm.
and he's like, "This has hip hop in it. This has indie rock in it. This has like some uh like 70s like rock in it." And then you listen to the song, you're like, "This just sounds like a Vampire Weekend song. It doesn't sound like hip hop at all."
Yeah. It sounds like they're just ripping out Vampire Weekend.
Yeah.
Wait, so remind me again how you listened to this, Dennis. You listened to it just while running today?
No, I listened. I've been since Friday, and I heard two the Gen X cop song, and then what is the other one? They've been on the radio for a while, so I've heard
Prep
those a lot.
School.
Let me see here.
What's it called? Oh, and what about you? When did you listen to it and how?
Just when it came out Friday, and I've been listening to it to and from work, around the house when I'm doing chores. So I've listened to quite a bit.
Just like preliminary though, like while you're doing this, like has there been a vibe that fits with it perfectly? Like for me,
It's just good. I don't know. I like it. It's fun to listen to, and there's very few songs that I'm like, I don't like this. Which I feel like most albums have a good amount of skips on it. I think
Mhm.
it's start to finish good.
Yeah, I listened to it running, and then I didn't like really get a chance to take notes. It was all just kind of a blur in my head, which I'd argue is good. Like in order to be able to just like zone out to something while running is a really nice experience. But then yesterday, before we were supposed to record, before Dennis canceled on us, I just
Yeah.
sat in bed and I pictured myself like I was John Lennon and Yoko Ono, just sitting in bed listening to music, just
In your
vibing out.
underwear,
Pretty
smoking a
much,
cigarette.
pretty much. And it was like perfectly sunny afternoon, and I was just listening to it with my big giant headphones, and I was like, this is
You could say
right.
something else.
What a
big
life
giant-
you get to live, Kevin.
I'm
You
sorry,
piece of
Dennis.
shit.
It's a choice.
I had to like jam this in like I'm studying like the artist I like.
I know. I just like I literally just did it out of like pure like it was a break from my normal piece. Like it was like
I need a break from watching movies all day. Let me go listen to this album.
exactly. Exactly. It's a good life, Dennis. You should try it sometime.
I dream.
Wait, so what is your guys' favorite Vampire Weekend song of all time? Because they have had 4 albums. Second album is pretty forgettable, but the other 3 were really, really good.
My favorite is the song Hannah Hunt.
Oh,
yeah.
that is good.
But I think there's a song on here that I might top Hannah Hunt for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Nothing's. It could over time. Nothing on this album. I'm just pulling up a list of the best Vampire Weekend songs of all time. Dennis, do you have one that comes to mind? Because Hannah Hunt was great. Like, it's just all about like some girl he used to date who's like really like followed him on tour or something.
I'm a huge fan of The Kids Don't Stand a Chance. That song always, that's a non-skip for me. The other ones I've heard so many, but like The Kids Don't Stand a Chance is really good. Just the bass at the beginning.
Is that like the double static backstroke? Yeah. Okay.
All the way to France.
Oh yeah, I was like, "Fuck, what song is that?" Yeah, I forgot about that song.
That song is so good.
Was that on the first album?
Yeah, first album.
So I'm just trying to pull up a list of some of the other songs.
First album and the second
that
album
is so good.
are my favorite albums.
Yeah, I think after that, the other was there two more, or is it just one?
Modern Vampires of the City. Oh, that was one other tidbit I learned about it in my research. So basically, do you know where the name comes from, Vampire Weekend?
No.
So Ezra Koenig watched the movie Lost Boys. You know that movie? 80s movie. It's just about vampires, like teen vampires. Okay. It's a pretty big deal. He wanted to like write and produce his own version of it that took place on the East Coast as opposed to the West Coast, I'm guessing. And then he scrapped it halfway through and just kept working on his band. So like he was trying to write a vampire movie or like produce a vampire movie, and like that's just where it came from.
It's kind of a bad name.
It's weird.
Like that.
Yeah,
it's not a very good like band name. It just seems clunky.
It really doesn't fit their vibe.
No, nothing about it. So the name of it isn't good, but
it makes you think goth, and like they're not goth; they're anti-goth.
But I don't think about it when I hear Vampire Weekend. I only thought about that because I was like, "Is this a good band name?" It's like, would I pick that? And that's the only time that I actually thought about it.
What would you name them if you could rename their band?
Vampire Weekday.
Dracula.
Frankenstein's.
Yeah, something like that. A little more normal.
All right, I'm looking at Modern Vampires of the City now. And
I feel like
Hannah Hunt was on that. Oh, and Obvious Bicycle, great song. Unbelievers, great song. Step, great song. Diane Young, great song. Good. Everlasting Arms was probably in my top 5. Yeah. That song is awesome. And then there was a few on Father of the Bride, but nothing like that I would have saved.
I forgot about the album Contra. I know there's some songs
not very good.
It's not. No, it's pretty forgettable.
There's
Horchata.
Giving Up the Gun. Kevin, you fucking love that song.
It had a good music video with the Jonas Brother, and that kind of pulled
Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah, maybe Cousins. I feel like was a good song, but on Vampire Weekend, I think the best song is the Oxford Comma.
The only reason I can't pick that is because it's just been I've heard it so many times, and I don't continue to listen to it. While Hannah Hunt, I will still keep on if it comes on.
Hannah Hunt.
That's not it, Dennis.
Yeah. Wait, you making it up?
Won't change your mind, baby, baby, baby. Oh, is that it?
No.
Oh.
It's like a very. God damn it, Hannah.
Some lines move, but I did not believe them.
Oh, I'm thinking if dying young don't change.
I think
your
that
mind.
one was on Contra.
Baby, baby, baby.
And that song was
baby,
good. That was Diane Young. That was on Contra. That was good.
Okay.
All right, well, that's all I got on Vampire Weekend. You guys already talked about the specific album?
Let's just end the recording.
The whole thing.
Let's talk about sports or something. You guys watch the game?
What game?
Any of them.
Yeah, I guess State didn't win, guys. They're not going to win.
State got close. All right, let's focus. All right, so you already answered one question, Owen, for me, that like you liked this start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Like, does that mean that every song you would rank above a 7 out of 10?
No, I don't think so. But it's something that I can listen to the whole entire album and be okay with. And I'm not like, I got to skip over this song. I can't listen to it.
There's nothing like offensive to your ears. So it can get as low as like a 5 or 6, completely like
and it's good for background. It's good for listening completely to. I think it's just good all around.
That's a good point because I kept making the same note while listening to the whole album, and I kept getting the vibe that it's kind of inspired by like the lo-fi chill hot beats to study to, You know that playlist?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
that's the
lot of
longest
that in there.
playlist name ever.
Is that what it
was
is?
that?
It's called Lo-Fi.
Lo-fi
No, yeah,
hot beats to study to.
It's
I
like a
put
famous YouTube
Volume
playlist.
3.
no. There's a bunch. I listen to them all the time. They're on YouTube, and it's like a girl like
Sounds like you have a lot of time to listen to music.
No,
Dennis.
this
How
is
did you
like-
not jam this in?
This is like famous, Owen, for like being background noise. It's called lo-fi beats to chill and relax. And
I get
study
it. I
to,
went to
yeah.
college. I went to college. I
Yeah.
studied sometimes. They always had those playlists.
Yeah, and this a lot of this is like inspired by that in my mind. It's
Yeah,
and like
I think-
go ahead, Dennis.
I was gonna say, I think that's kind of the reason why this album hasn't really hit me yet, and I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I know there's gonna be a song that will finally jump out, but right now I'm not. I'm giving it like a
here
5, 6 out of 10, maybe.
Here's how it's gonna go. This is how it's gone with every album that we listen to. Dennis gives us a review a week later. Fuck. This album is awesome. I wish I did more research before the podcast and talk about it on there.
Well, that's usually
So
if we go
Dennis
through
is
each
cool.
song, which you're
Yes,
not
it's-
doing.
Right, but Dennis is gonna. What's your? Why are you so? Why don't you like that, Kevin? The going song by song method.
Just because I don't remember
Is it-
any of them well enough, or like have to speak. I don't have enough to speak to on each one. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like just breaking it down song by song.
Well, Owen might.
Well, I would say like just please, like I think we should just
Please.
go.
Please.
Lord,
Let me pray
It
here
is-
for a second.
Lord, give us the strength for Owen to review. Amen. Amen.
It is tough without hearing it though.
Yeah, and
So,
I don't
and
wanna
I
go
think
through
that's
it.
where you are like, I don't want
Mhm.
to edit it out and go.
It
like,
also-
I think that's what the main thing.
Yeah, and
is.
it also just makes it go really long if we're all just and it just gets no, let's just stick to this. I have a plan here. I actually did something
Okay.
new this week. I did not take notes on my computer. I was trying to stay connected with the earth and the planet, and I took notes on in a notebook with a pen.
Yeah, that's good. Wasting some paper.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably better than servers. What's better? What's worse for the planet? Cutting down trees or server space on the internet?
Oh God, where to start? You know.
All right, let's do it song by song. Owen.
Oh fuck! No, we need to play a little clip
Well,
clip
why-
of each.
do you
Well,
have it
since
on
we
your s-
didn't do that, I didn't take notes song by
Okay.
song. I was just wondering why you didn't like doing that. I enjoy that. I know.
Well-
I was looking forward to doing that with the last album for Kanye West, and then we skipped that completely.
All right, well,
All right,
let's
ice
do it-
cream piano. Any
No,
thoughts?
let's not do it that way because it's. I
Would you
none of-
play one?
Sounds hard to do.
But
Yo,
and
melty.
like you said, it is good start to finish. But in my list, I did rank everything out of 10, and only 2 songs got above an 8 for me.
Okay.
Does
Which
that
do?
sound fair?
Shit, that's what we should start. Okay, for going forward for albums, we should do a rank out of 10 and have those ready at least, and maybe just a real quick clip on it or quick thing to say if you want.
Yeah, but
We
only
don't need to listen to them.
only 2 songs are like stand out. Like I will definitely listen to again. I'm
Can
not
I
gonna
guess which
reveal-
ones they are?
No,
or
not
no?
yet. But
Okay.
I want to tell you which one gave me because I want to start with the worst album the worst song on the album. And do you want to guess my least favorite based on my notes here? Because I don't remember what the song sounds like all that much.
Capricorn.
Capricorn is. Oh, you know what? There's 2. 2 got a 5 out of 10. It was Capricorn and the Surfer.
That's
See,
fair.
It's
I feel
funny
like
because Capricorn was their like first single and has the most views on Spotify.
right. And when that came out, I was like, this album's not going to be that good.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can't get into this song.
And then I heard Gen X Cop, and I'm like, I don't really like this. And then that song kind of grew on me. That's at like a 7 out of 10 now, I would say. But what's the other song, Kevin?
It was the Surfer, which my notes on it are it's very 90s. It sounds like Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls, like don't go. It had like a weird like
kind of
90s.
forget how that sounds.
It has like a rap in it. Instrumental.
yeah, it does.
Oh
And
yeah,
that was the one specifically that
Oh.
reminded me of lo-fi chill hip hop beats to study to.
Yes.
I gotcha. I didn't hate that song actually. It reminds me of a lot of like what Kronbin does, but it's like very like bass heavy boom, boom, which I think they do stand-up bass. That's what they
Yeah.
had some guy. There's some person that they brought in to play that, and I think it's on that song. It's
I
not anyone from Vampire Weekend,
So I didn't
but
hate Capricorn or the Surfer. I just can't envision a world
yeah,
like where I would actively listen to that. I'm like,
I agree.
if
I
it came on,
agree.
I'd probably enjoy it, but I just like, I don't know when that is a good music for me to listen to. But those did remind me, though, both these songs, of how good Ezra Koenig's Netflix show Neo Yokio is. Shout out to George and Matt Stew. I've talked about it on pod before, and you guys have not seen it. It is
I tried
fantastic.
watching it,
Oh, you did? You didn't like it?
dude. I did Hamilton 2.0 for me.
Ah, just too out there.
It's like what's that type of show?
Anime.
Anime.
And I could not get
Yeah,
into it.
it's
I
not.
was really excited though. I was like, Kevin loved it, George loved it. It seems like it's guy from Vampire Weekend made it. I was like, everything about it seems right up my alley, and it was not for me.
No, I
I'm
believe you
sorry.
because I believe that you would give that your full effort, and the fact that you
I
didn't like it, it does disappoint me. But I believe that you did.
I
So
gave it a lot of episodes too. It wasn't like a 1 and 2 and done. I just couldn't follow.
Dennis, you'll have to check it out and clear the.
I can't get into cartoons.
I don't like
Tunes.
cartoons either.
I can't get into Looney Tunes, man.
They're all Looney
I've
Tunes
seen
to you.
enough Bugs Bunny in my life.
And that'd be a good one to throw on with your kids, though, because they'll probably get some entertainment out of it. And it's not really like an adult show.
Is it animated?
Yeah.
3D animated?
No, it's not. It's regular animated.
Sorry.
they only like
It's gotta
3D.
be Pixar.
Oh man. What were your guys' least favorites on the album?
Capricorn. That's why I guessed yours. 'Cause I did not like that
Anything
song.
specific that you didn't like about it?
I just don't like the Capricorn. The year that you were born. Just like the lyrics aren't there. The song's boring. It just isn't.
There were a lot of these classical musical songs, and they could either go either direction. And this one was not doing it for me.
Yeah, I think it's the word Capricorn. Just
Yeah.
hearing it that much, it's like ugh, I don't know if I like that word, so it doesn't make the song sound good.
Is it because you're into astrology and like?
Yeah,
and
I'm an Aquarius. Capricorn's an Aquarius. Do not.
shit is so dumb.
Dude, I can never remember what mine is. I've looked it up 1,000 times. I have no fucking clue. It
I
just
think
doesn't
you're right on
stick
that
with me.
The thing is, it's like it just doesn't matter. So
I know,
it's
so
okay.
My brain like just must know that and just like I'm not absorbing this information.
Yeah, I don't have enough room in there to jam that in.
There
Kevin,
are
do you
women
know
who
what you
base
are?
their entire life off of this shit.
Oh, I
They're
know. It's
insane.
insane.
What are you guys?
I'm a
I'm
Scorpio.
Aquarius.
Scorpio always sounds cool because
It does. It looks
the
it's like
Scorpio
a
King.
scorpion. It makes me
Yeah,
think of
it's-
Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Imagine Cancer, though. Like that's the worst one out there, and it also has the 69 symbol,
Does
doesn't
it?
it? Yeah, that's its sign. It's just not a good look.
The guy must have ran out of ideas, and his kid came up and wrote 69. The word cancer.
So you think there's just a guy
Man, that
creating all
kid is
this?
that was a bad kid. That kid's writing 69 in Cancer on a piece of paper.
It's 2 words that are
Who is this guy you're picturing, Dennis? And
the
who's
guy
this
that
kid?
wrote this all. Looked at the stars. Someone
What's
had to
his
write
name?
this down, right?
What's his name? James Astrology. Okay.
Man.
You want me to go off that bit?
No.
Okay.
I the only case I can make for astrology is that there's probably something to the fact that like if you are born in June, you're probably more inclined to do things certain ways. Just like it's hard for me to explain, but like I do believe there's something to that. Like where like somebody born in June is probably used to like being born and everybody's happy during the summer. And then like if you're born in December, like or February, like you're used to everybody being grumpy. So like your formative first 3 months are like people being grumpy and angry,
And I think it has to do with your age while you're in school. You're the older one in school, or you're
Very
the
true.
younger
Very
one.
true.
Because that's like my one kid. He could technically go to kindergarten next year and be the youngest, but we're gonna hold him back another year. So he's the
Bunch of
oldest.
Malcolm Gladwell's on the pod today.
But that makes sense though. Like,
Milk
and
'em.
and you can make it something as stupid as calling yourself a Leo or whatever. But that's really all it comes down to is like this person was born during the summers, so they weren't going. They didn't have any impact on their schooling, so they development. I don't know. Let's
How
get
does
back.
it feel to be a January birthday? I don't know many January birthdays. I know a lot of Octobers.
It's always been cold during the birthday or during my actual birthday. So I don't know.
You get
I
the
don't love
holiday
it.
hangover. You're kind of like sick of like
I
any
don't
sort of
love it.
celebration.
I would say the one thing that's great about it is like there's not much to look forward in January and February. So having a birthday in there to break things up, it's kind of nice
Yeah,
to
that's
get you
true.
through the winter. But it's
When
a
would a
sad thing to
January
be.
baby be conceived?
I don't know, man. 9 months earlier.
What's 9 months up to January, Dennis?
No, it'd be 4.
Let's do this. Let's turn
April?
this into-
April. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just 3 months after.
Right now.
right?
Interesting.
Spring.
Little spring fling. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
move
enough
on.
on Owen's conception.
Jesus.
All
You
right,
know, Owen, Dad, listen. Maybe you can comment
All
on his thoughts.
Dennis.
right.
Name a song on this album that wasn't.
I
your-
can't name a song. Don't make me do it. Don't make me name a song.
You don't have any notes, do you?
No, I told you I have no notes.
Okay, well, can you at least answer this? Can you tell me a song, or at least a song describe a song that wasn't your favorite, but that you did enjoy, like something that was like a 7.5 out of 10?
Yeah,
That's high.
I was just about to say the song I hated the most was classical, and I actually while you guys are talking, I was
Wow.
listening to it. I'm like, I actually like this song. So
I was going to say, that's a good one.
yeah, so I would say that it's growing on me. First, I didn't
Okay.
like it. It's growing on me.
This is where Dennis is like, shit, I wish I had listened to it more before the podcast. Yeah.
I'm putting actual brain effort into it, so I'm starting to like it. But the song that really stuck out for me, can I name it?
I don't want your favorite yet.
Okay.
I just want one that stood out, but wasn't quite like.
I would say Gen X Cop. It's like
yeah.
I would never actively go play that song, but when it comes on the album, like I'm like, all right, this is good.
That was the one that reminded me of very mid 2000s indie rock, like Interpol and the Strokes and stuff. Like it had like a very. I think like it was the bass. It was the way the bass was like doom 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 doom, like almost like that kind of, and it just seemed like it was like almost like an homage to a time, but wasn't their sound. Like it didn't sound like a Vampire Weekend song.
Yeah. I almost feel like this album almost feels like they're trying to cover Vampire Weekend. Like they're trying to make Vampire Weekend songs, but they're a little off. I don't know.
Man,
That's how I feel.
I don't
about
get
it.
that. I understand where you're coming. I just don't get. I don't see that or hear that.
I don't agree with that either, Dennis. I think they're just experimenting more with their sound, and sometimes it sounds natural extension, and sometimes it doesn't quite like you hear remnants of them, but it doesn't quite.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like they did so good at like the whole album, like just makes sense from start to finish. I feel like they did a really good job with that. Where I feel like in other albums, it may not be the case where things can be. I don't know.
The first few albums though, I feel like are better because there's less going on. It's like his voice, like the devil's down, and
Yeah, I mean,
it goes into it. And
Just
this
keep
is like
reverting
it's
back to your
too,
favorite
like,
song.
the first
yeah.
Vampire Weekend is like it's almost like a cohesive thing from start to finish. This one is
Damn,
way
I feel
more
like
overall.
this one's very cohesive.
This one's very polished, I would say, but it's not
Polished
as,
is a better word. That's better. I think it's just I feel like they feel grown up and they did a really good job.
I
there's
don't
like
think one song flows into the next all that well.
of this album. I think they all flow like almost too well.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like
Did we all listen to the album?
I'm listening right now. I'm almost done.
no,
I
they
can't hear you.
flow, but the sound doesn't sound the same. Like it flows, it all has like the same underlying track or something. Like it all has the same underlying piano, but the song, it's like the sound and song itself doesn't remind me of the song before it. It'd be like if you're wearing the same undershirt all week long, but like on one day you wear like a sweater vest, the next day you wear a trench coat, the next day you wear like a Michael Jackson thriller suit. Does that metaphor
Did you
make
think
sense?
that was really good? Did you think of that yourself?
Yeah.
That's so smart. I love that.
It's like you look at that guy. It's like, he's got the same white Uniqlo T-shirt on underneath, but like he's really everything on the outside is very different.
I like it. His bass line, he's
Yes,
keeps it the
yes,
same, but adds a little flair to each
and
song.
that flair is very different in each one. Like
That's a
sometimes
good
I
point.
would be like, damn, this is like a '90s song, and the freaking like the beat is sick. And then once I would
Yeah.
be like, damn, that piano is very classical. And then the next one it'd be like, man, like is that a saxophone? That came out of nowhere.
But doesn't it
Yeah.
sound so hard to do? And if you do it well, it's like makes it a really good album.
Yeah, no, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, and was there a song to you that wasn't the best song on the album, but you still had a lot of thoughts about?
Um, Not really, to be honest. I felt like I liked most of there's none there's one actually, goddamn. I feel like 4 songs I really loved. The other ones were just all okay. None of them were terrible though.
Okay,
Other Capricorn was probably my least out of all of those.
Sorry, I'm making this way more complicated than it has to be. I just don't want you to reveal your favorite song on the album yet. So just think about your top 2 and then name the other ones. Like, don't name the
I
top
got
2.
top 4.
One of them. Okay, think
Well,
about your.
probably
What songs
um,
did you add any songs to a personal playlist?
okay, I got it now. All right, so Prep School Gangster and Capricorn probably are like hand in hand where I'm not a fan of those.
Wow, I'm shocked. No joke. I thought Prep School Gangster is the magnum opus of this album. I love it.
Really?
I've already listened to it 5 times. Like, it is by far my favorite.
Well, I wouldn't have guessed that one.
Damn. Okay. Then I'm very curious.
That one does have a good guitar.
Yeah, Prep School Gangster. Like, I hate to reveal it too early, but that one reminded me of the Cars. Like,
Yeah.
I guess you're just what I needed. It has like a very Cars sounding opening. And
Man, that song does sound good.
are you listening to it now?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I am too, but I still agree
Okay,
with what I said. I'm not. It's not for me.
Like, here's my other notes on that song. He sounds like Adam Sandler singing.
Oh, that might change it for me. I like that.
Yeah.
You like that? Why do you guys like that? Adam Sandler isn't a good singer. He's a joke singer.
And then
It makes no sense.
and then the other thing,
I like that. Is what that is sentence.
it had
I
a lot
like to
of
imagine that. When you get bored of the song, you can then just be like, switch your brain to imagining Adam Sandler singing.
Now I remember I didn't like this. I don't like the ooh, ooh, where he's like the chanting. That's what I really didn't like of this song.
Well,
yeah.
my last
Kevin, is this your favorite song?
10 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
And there's a couple lines that are just so catchy, like where he says like, some people say you could lose some teeth that way, and like the family tree, like someone just like me. Everything about that song was my favorite.
So are you, when you listen to music, I don't know one lyric the guy has said. Like I am not a lyric person. It takes me like 10 listens to hear a lyric.
That's strange. I always thought that you were a lyric person because you'd like to tell us what a song was about.
That's
guys,
like after 10 listens.
I've been editing this pod for a year and a half now, and some days Dennis is a lyric guy, some days Dennis isn't, some days Owen's a lyric guy, some days I think it just depends.
Gun to my head,
song.
Dennis is a lyric guy
He
through and through. He
100%
always
is.
has been. He always tells us what the song's about.
He's a lyric guy, I would say too.
No, but I won't listen to a song first for the lyrics.
It has to be a cohesion of a cool lyric with a cool beat. Like, it can't just be like, you're not just going to listen to like some spoken word guy with like a light, like, here I was on the
Well, I don't know. That sounds kind of cool. I might listen to that.
just like beat.
You can convince me of anything, man. Don't you know? You listen to the pod enough. Come on.
I mean, Ben is my friend. The Sun Kill Moon song is like a lyrical masterpiece.
Oh, I know.
And
that is good.
so I don't know how you could say you're not a lyric guy and like that song, because it's all lyrics. But he uses his lyrics like an instrument. Okay. Oh, and I'm going to name my song that was a 7 out of 10. So you already know my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, Ice Cream Piano.
Yeah.
I wanted to like that one a lot more than I did. Like, I think it's a really good intro. the first thought it made me think though was like, not only does this guy, well, I thought this later, like he sounds like Adam Sandler in the one song, but when I heard this song, he sounded like the Beatles. I was like, this sounds like it could be like Paul McCartney singing. Did you ever have a thought like that? Like he sounds like he's copying someone almost.
No, I'm gonna have to re-listen to see if I could see what you're or hear what you're hearing.
Okay, yeah, listen to that just first song and just tell me like it's not Beatles. Dennis looks like he's listening to it right now. Are you even listening to us?
What's nice about when we do so, like things? I know you don't like going song by song, but not getting a quick glimpse of the song before you talk about it is difficult. To be like, oh yeah, okay, that rings a bell again. Unless you really like that song or really dislike it.
All right, we'll try it again next time we do a music album.
That's totally
I'm down.
fine.
I agree. I think that song, like his voice blends into the music too much. It's like too much going on.
But yeah, I don't know what it was about that song. It just like it never happened to me. Like it never took off like I thought it was going to or something. And I kind of just dug into the lyrics a little bit too much. I'm like, is he like fighting Rashida Jones? And then now I realize he probably isn't even singing about himself. So yeah, that's not.
What is the relevance of Ice Cream Piano?
I couldn't even figure that out. I think of Ice Cream Paint Job, that song.
Yeah. Green on the inside.
Cream on the outside, cream on the inside. I know. Yeah. I love this.
And I know you know that song.
Listening to this now.
Oh, I'm listening to this song. Sorry, I'm trying to do both at the same time. It's
I know
very
fucking
difficult.
Owen loves Ice Cream Paint Job.
Oh yeah,
he's not singing it.
I like Ice Cream Piano.
Oh,
I'm a fan of it. I just had to re-listen to see
what do you like
song
about
was that again. I don't know. I like how it takes a little bit of time to speed up, and then it's like
it gets to the classic
quick
Vampire
song.
Weekend.
I like it. Yeah, I think I'm a fan.
All right. Well, while you're rolling, tell us what your favorite songs on the album were, Owen.
My number one favorite is Mary Boone.
That was my second favorite.
And I love that song so much because it also reminds me of like a Kanye song where he's got one vibe for the whole song and it completely changes.
Oh yeah.
And the beat, then I like songs that do that. It's I think it's hard to do, but when you do it well, it's great. I think that song is perfect.
Yeah.
Mary Boone had like a church chorus, right? Like a very like churchy vibe to it.
I think just the name Mary maybe got you.
No, it does. Yeah, there's people going. Yeah, there's a chorus in it.
And then there's something about like a woo happens, like somebody going,
"Oh, dude, that's the only reason I like the song." It goes, "Woo!"
I like it too.
Up.
I liked it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was also my favorite song.
Yeah.
And Drew, who's a listener, just a listener, not a friend.
Friend of the show, Drew.
He texted a group chat, one of many that Kevin's in. All of them that I'm in a lot of group chats where Kevin's in also. So it's like Kevin, Owen, George.
I'm very
Drew.
I'm very active in a lot of group chats.
But yeah, he texted
it comes down to that like boredom, Dennis, like where you don't have any free time. I have so much free time. So if I have like a thought, I can be like, what group would appreciate this thought about fire trucks? Or like,
yeah. I remember when I used to have that much free time and someone would text me and I respond within like 2 seconds.
Yes.
Now it's like, dude, if I don't get back to you in a couple of days, it's okay. I didn't mean anything by it.
You're pretty good on our group chat.
I try to be. Yeah.
I feel like I go through spurts. I might.
Yeah, you're definitely the worst.
Dennis is by far the worst.
But it's understandable. Like a lot of times we're like, well, has anyone heard from Dennis? It's been 3 days. And you go, sorry. I was doing stuff with my kids or just something that is like, you look at your phone. I
usually read it and then like for some reason I like it. It's like effort for me to put in, and I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Oh, I get that. I 100% get that. There's sometimes it's like I just don't want to have to put in any effort. Like Kevin, when you posted the videos to put on for Instagram and you put them on, I was like, I just don't have the bandwidth to put these on to TikTok, and it takes no time.
No,
I was like, I'll wait until it's not going to change anything.
I think what's funny about Dennis's responses in a group chat is like they're almost like condescending. Like, we know you've like ignored it for 3 days, and then you'll like come back and be like apologize and be like, hey, sorry, I just like saw this or something like that, or you. Like you won't say that, but they'll just be like, we know what happened, Dennis. You don't need to like try to like come up with an excuse for it. We understand.
Yeah, I guess I'm not really trying to trick you or anything. I just
that's
my way to
no,
like
it's not,
get back into the conversation.
Yeah, you're like,
I
okay,
gotcha.
sorry, I
It's your
finally had a
it's
chance
your
to process this.
yeah, it's your entrance back in.
Yeah. Yeah,
Give a
exactly.
quick like my bad. Let's get into this.
Yeah, like you don't
You
even
could
need to do
skip the
my
my bad,
That's what I'm
Dennis. You
trying to
don't need
say.
to. Yeah, just start going
I'll get
in.
it.
But if there's a question that wasn't answered, we'll come back at you and be like, "So what's the answer?"
Yeah, like I was actually when you guys were like, Owen's like, I'm on. And then Kevin's like, be on in 5 minutes. I was laying next to one of my kids trying to put him to bed. And I'm like, I'm not going to be fucking on in 5 minutes.
In that case, it might be helpful to text us back.
I was wondering when Dennis. I was like, "Is he?"
But I
Well,
actually
Kevin
saw
was
that.
out.
I saw that and I was like a little mad for some reason. Because I'm like, we said 9:30. And even though usually I'd probably be happy that we're starting early, but my one kid just refused to go to bed. So
Well, there's a lot going on in your life, Dennis. But let's get back to Mary Boone.
pity party for me.
I actually, this question is A. There's part A is for Dennis, part B is for Owen. Owen, do you have something you want to say first?
Oh, kind of. But I didn't know what you're gonna.
You look like what you're doing right now is you look like you're trying to like zoom in on us with your hands, like you're like pinching your fingers
like
and
to
then
make this-
spreading
Whenever you
them.
give your parents your like a picture, they fucking love the Zoom shit.
Yeah.
So that's not, you weren't trying to catch my attention. You were just,
No, I don't think I explained enough about the song, but I definitely did. Mary Boone. So I didn't know if you're getting back into it.
no, it's just something very unique experience that I had while listening to this song was Spotify for the past 2 or 3 years. They've started having this clip that goes along with each song. It's almost like a GIF, like a 6 or 7 second clip
Mhm.
that kind of sets the vibes for the song. And this is a song where like the clip really turned me around on it. And Dennis, I was wondering if you saw that or noticed that at all.
No, I've
Using
seen those
Spotify.
clips before. I didn't see that one.
Every once in a while, like one of those clips can really turn you onto a song.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, oh, and does Apple have that? Was part B to this question.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feature that I understand. Like, I don't need to see the whole music video, but I just want to know,
Yeah.
like you know, is this like a song that like I should be listening to in like the rural field, or should I be listening to it at nighttime in the city? Like, it just like helps you get the vision of the song.
Vibes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
here,
the vibes.
This is it.
Yeah, I think it's just like them riding a car in nighttime or something.
It's like
and
a
I'm
5-second clip.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
all I need.
There's some times I look at that and I'm like, I did not think this band had this type of vibe. And sometimes it's a turn off where you're like, fucking
I
Sure.
agree. Yeah.
anime, like 90s cartoon vibe of a band. But yeah, it's cool.
Completely different topic. I'm very excited for you guys to see Monkey Man. It is awesome.
I do want to see that.
It sounds fake.
Yeah, it's a
The
bad
movie. Yeah.
name. Dennis, so your favorite was Mary Boone too?
Yes, it was. And I think
It
it's
was
only,
number one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was only because of the woo, that part. That
Yeah, the
sold me.
beginning, and then God, all of it. The whole song from start to finish is really fucking good.
Yes.
Do we go on to Kevin? Your number one was
Mine was
you already said it.
Yeah, it was Prep School Gangsters. I hate the name.
Yeah.
The title.
I think it's fine.
I think maybe give it another listen from the lens that I was
I
just like
will.
it made me
Yeah.
think of the Cars, and I fucking love the Cars.
Yeah.
And that just like made me appreciate it instantly and give it like the attention it deserved.
Mhm.
I have a question for Owen.
Mhm.
This album or Waxahachie?
This album.
Oh, I'm with Team Waxahachie.
I think I would go
Really?
Waxahachie on this one. I
Yeah.
liked that latest Waxahachie.
I like the album. I like Waxahachie's Waxahachie's album.
you
I
like-
do like it a lot, but this is more fun.
If you like them, say it 5 times fast.
Waxahachie. I don't want to do that.
Waxahachie.
I feel like I have to smoker talk it.
Mr. B was telling me that Waxahachie has a twin sister that's also
Yeah, they have a
indie
they-
artist.
Yeah, they had a Planes, I think was the name of the band. Or was that the album that they did together? They stopped that. They just released their last album though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like last year, I think.
Yeah.
It's good. They're good. You'll like them.
Yeah.
All right. So overall thoughts on the album. Oh, and obviously you like it. Like if you had to rank it like Pitchfork out of 10, what would you give it?
I would
Only
give
God
it
was
like
above us.
8.5.
Actually, that's a different thing I wanted to mention. Do you guys know what Only God Was Above Us is in reference to?
I'm guessing heaven.
It's plane related, Owen.
Ooh.
Apparently, there was a flight somewhere in the past where the top of the plane ripped off, and one of the people was quoted as saying, "Only God was above us." So it's like somebody was on a plane
Huh.
where the roof came off, and they said that phrase.
Okay. Well, how
Huh.
did they die? How do you
You know, I didn't dig that deep.
Yeah,
got
so
the
if they
black
died,
box.
how do we know that
It
they said that?
sounds like somebody lived.
Maybe it was the black box that they talked into. It's a nice story though, Kevin. We'll go with
I
that.
Yeah,
picture the plane like when you open a can, like that sort of thing with the
Yeah,
Yeah,
plane.
can of
gotcha.
sardines.
Yeah, like the metal just bent and curled off of
Yeah.
it, but probably wasn't like that.
I think I think everyone in the world imagines that if the top of a plane comes off, that's
Yeah.
how it comes
And then a
off.
guy with a wig and it just flips up.
Well, wait, I don't see that guy. No.
Yeah.
And then the person next to him, only God was above us.
Every time.
What is a
Uh,
plane but just a can of sardines of humans, right?
What is it? My
Yeah.
next album. Thanks,
A
Kev.
probably a lot more. What other songs you guys like on that? I really liked Pravda, Classical, and Hope. Like all equally. I thought those songs were all awesome.
I think the night I don't know if I ever finished Hope. It was just like so close to
What?
the end.
It's
And
such a good. I feel like it's such a good
Oh,
closing
yeah.
song.
It-
I don't know. Those 4 songs are, in my opinion, they're like awesome songs. I added them all to my favorite music playlist.
Hope sounded like a country song, right? Or it almost came in like a folk song. It sounded very different than the rest of them.
I don't know. Give me a second.
It almost sounded like it could have been like a Zach Bryan or like Morgan Wallen song.
I have a question. So when you're listening to this album, so I listened to this a few times, but just hit play, didn't ever look down to see which song was called what. Do you guys do that a lot? Like look down and go, oh, the name of this song is Hope.
No, I don't, because I was listening to it for the pod. I did, but normally, like if I was just listening to like a new Drake album or something, like I would just look when I really like a song.
Yeah.
Kevin, you'll like Hope. You
I
gotta
mean,
give it.
honestly, I like the whole
Hope
album, and I'll
let
probably
it
give
go.
it many more listens.
Yeah. Songs 8, 9 is the best closing because song 8 was Mary Boone, 9 was Pravda, and then 10 was Hope. And I loved all 3 of those songs a lot.
I was also brushing my teeth while I listened to that song, and maybe it's not like a good teeth brushing song.
You'll like it.
The 8-minute
I think you need
song.
to give it. I want to hear. I want you to listen. I want you to listen to it and then get back on.
Hey
What do you
man,
think of it?
I'm
Kevin's
all
gums were bleeding by the end of the 8-minute song.
I'm all in on Vultures now, so sometimes it just takes a few weeks to really appreciate
Yeah.
these things because I love Vultures now.
Oh yeah, Vultures
that's
is
a good
good.
album.
The first half of it.
I pick and choose the songs I listen to from it, but there are 6 that are in heavy rotation for me now, especially like while I'm running and stuff.
Vultures 2, you think is going to be good, or is it going to be too much of the same thing?
I would guess too much of the same thing.
But
Yeah.
you liked the first one, so you're gonna like the second one.
All right, well, my thoughts on this Vampire Weekend album, Only God Was Above Us, doesn't it make you just want to walk around New York City, man? Like,
Yeah, I think so. This is like spring. It just seems like spring and walking around New York City.
they
It's
are
like
just spring in New York City, just like this perfect um encapsulation of like different influences, like classical music in one corner, urban influences in the other corner, like indie rock influences in one. They are just New York's band, man.
It's
so
weird because
good.
when I think of them, I don't think of New York. I think of New England and like on a boat for some reason.
It's the way it's the preppiness of
It's
it.
the dress,
Yeah.
but yeah, is
like
New
Connecticut.
York not New England? It's like
I was
right on
gonna
the
say that is the same area. That's
Yeah,
same
the
area.
Connecticut part of New York, where the
Don't
people
tell people from New York or Connecticut that. They'd probably be like, "What are you talking about?"
But at the end of the day, like New York would look like Boston if it wasn't so popular. Like it would have.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Like there's just so many transplants there that it kind of lost its own identity. Yeah, Dennis,
I
your
think if
thoughts on
this
it?
album also came out like 1 month later, it'd go up a star for me. Like where it was like always warm. It's Vampire Weekend's a good warm weather album.
Well, just wait. Don't listen to it until then.
No, yeah, I think that's intentional, Dennis. I think they want you to like warm up to it along with the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it was released at the perfect time. Like, I want to get on my boat and listen to this, and I feel like that's a perfect place to listen to this
perfect.
album.
Like your boat exactly is the kind of boat that I imagine, like for Vampire Weekend. Like
All right, I have a
cigar
curveball
boat
question for
sort
you
of thing.
guys.
Oh man, now I really want to do it.
Curveball question. What song on this album would your kids like the most? What's like the
Ooh.
frog on the floor?
It's a good question.
Oh my god.
Prep School Gangsters?
The song title, Ice Cream Piano,
That would get them.
would get the most questions.
What's the one that starts off the quickest? That's is that Prep School
That's
Gangsters?
Gen X Cops, I think.
Gen X Cops?
Yeah.
No. Is it? Yeah, Gen X Cops.
You think that's the kid favorite? Dennis, you have any takes?
think
Ice
so.
Cream Piano, just because ice cream?
Yeah, my kids, I like to explain songs to my kids sometimes, and I just completely make up the story. Like the Tame Impala song, Let It Happen, that song. I made up a whole story about how it's a guy building a robot, and the robot gets jammed, and then he can dance, and they love that song. So
that's a good fucking story.
So they just need to like have like a
they need to have a
behind
story
it.
with it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I said Ice Cream Piano, they would probably like that.
Yeah, you're like, well, back in the day, there was a mythical land where all the pianos were made of ice cream, but one day the evil wizard, just like that kind of thing.
Yeah, they love made up stories.
Did Kevin go a little too like mythical?
Yeah, he did. It has to be
way back. It's got to be more like.
It's got to be like mommy and daddy went out and bought you a piano.
Oh, it has to be more present and like palpable.
I spilled ice cream on it, and the ice cream became the keys. And every time you touched it, there was a chocolate ice cream, and they'd be like vanilla, and that sort of story.
Damn,
I get what you're saying.
You're pretty good at this, Dennis.
Dude, I do 3 stories every night, made up from the top of my head.
All right, Dennis, give me a
book.
Give me a story,
like a quick story book.
AI,
Dennis,
man.
End us on a story with for Mary Boone.
All right. One time, mommy and daddy were going to the store, and Freddie and Ozzy got lost, and they started praying. They prayed and they prayed, and a woman named Mary Boone came up. Who's Mary Boone? Is that my mom? Is that my grandma? No, Mary Boone. Mary Boone.
He put
told
the
us that
ad-libs of your kids.
Mary Boone told us that she rose to heaven with Jesus. I don't tell Catholic stories. This story's turning very Catholic. The problem is when you tell a story, you'll say one line and then you're like,
it's like shit, I gotta stick with that. Yeah.
It's the improv training, Dennis. You gotta guess and your own lines. Like,
dude, it helps a lot with telling stories, made up stories.